So many of you guys asked me if I could review this one, and me being a big fan of Tokyo Labs plugin, here we go. The new Molot Compressor Gentleman Edition. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixbusTv. Hope you're having a great day. Before we start, please check the info box down below for my mixing courses on ProMix Academy. Free plugins, discounts, special offers, including on this one, the new Molot Gentleman Edition Compressor by Tokyo Lab. And if the videos are helping you, you want to support the channel, but most important now, access to the many in-depth mix and mastering videos and courses here on the channel, on YouTube, without having to sign or go to another site. Click the join button down here, see all the perks of becoming a MixbusTv member, which includes mix consultations with me via Skype or email. Let's get to the video. Tokyo Labs is one of my favorite plugin manufacturers. They make top-notch plugins, very reasonably priced. I have and I've been using many of their plugins in my mixes for a long time. Limiter number 6, you see me using it all the time. Nova is one of the best dynamic EQ out there. Sleek EQ Mastering is an amazing mastering equalizer, and Kotelnikov is one of the most transparent and versatile plugin compressors out there. But today I'm testing Molot Gentleman Edition, and I can tell you, usually the little price, forget the Gentleman Edition of their plugin, is more than worth it, because the GA editions always come with so many more features. Let's get to it and take a look at the GUI. On the top left, we have the input knob and the sidechain high-pass filter to remove the low end out of the detector. Right below, we already have a button that adds a very unique feature, which is the sidechain phase rotator. Activates a phase rotator for the sidechain signal, which adds a frequency-dependent delay to the lower frequency. We'll see how that sounds in a minute. We have a ratio and we have inverse ratio. Threshold, attack, release, and here in the middle we have the sigma alpha control, fully variable. In alpha mode, so this knob all the way counterclockwise, the compressor reacts almost immediately to the material. In sigma mode, the action of the compressor is delayed, so is a less nervous behavior of the compressor, smoother with less distortion. We have the stereo link, which can be on or off, and it also has a crossfeed. Basically, you set the frequency down here, and everything below that frequency is going to be linked, and everything above that frequency is going to be unlinked. And then we have a dry mix if you want to inject back in your compressed signal your dry mix. Down on the right, 3 compression styles: feedback, relaxed, and lo-fi. And they can be, as you can see, combined in every combination possible. If we disengage all of them, this is a feed-forward compressor, so it's very aggressive, very snappy. Feedback style is going to be a different flavor, a different behavior. Relaxed switches between instant mode and relaxed. Instant mode automatically sets shorter release time for fast events, kick, snare, transients. Relaxed has lighter increased release times for small amount of gain reduction. Then we have lo-fi. Here in the middle we have the dual stage button, which activates the dual stage compression. You see you have another set of control for attack time and release time, and attack mix. In short, this allows you to tailor the release of the compressor faster for faster events and slower for long events, making the compressor a lot more versatile and natural sounding, among other things. Top right, you can activate mid EQ. This is a preset EQ curve, controls the simultaneous boosting and cutting of the fixed EQ curve frequencies located at 500, 1.5, 3.5, and 10K. The EQ curve allows for simple tonal changes. We'll hear that in action. Then we have a limiter, which I can already tell you sounds really good. And then a saturate button, where you can increase or decrease the amount of saturation for this compressor, which is a colored compressor. And this saturation can be dynamic, so it can be static or follow the envelope and change dynamically. Super useful control for level matching, equal loudness bypass, delta to hear only the action of the compressor, equal loudness trim to automatically compensate the level changes between uncompressed and compressed. Let's hear how it sounds on drum first. I'm squashing this drum right now because I want to hear the color of the compressor and understand the behavior. This was alpha. Let's try sigma, which is the more relaxed. I love how it brings up the room. I love the sound of this thing already. I'm right now using the feed forward style, so I'm just gonna click relaxed and see how it works. It beefs up this snare really nicely. Let's switch between relaxed and non-relaxed. Subtle, but really nice. Feedback style, so a more vintage kind of compression. With a fast attack time like this, you can really hear the difference between feedback and feed forward. And if you're not familiar with feedback style compression, basically it's like the API 2500 in old mode. You increase compression without touching the threshold by turning up the makeup gain. Check this out. I'll try to level match. Which in this case will probably be linked to some extent to the saturate, so let's try this. It sounds really nice. I love this kind of saturation. It's very mellow, it softens the transient, it shaves off the peak, and you can hear the difference between dynamic and not dynamic. You hear how the snare breathes a little more. Let's try the limiter right now. It retains a lot of punch. You can see my peak meter without the limiter. Let's see where we peak. Minus 3.6 with the limiter on. I'm cutting at this point more than 6 dB. Of course, it is a lot. I want to test the limit of it, but 6 dB and it still sounds like this. Let me pull the dry mix completely out. Let's hear how it sounds. Man, this limiter sounds nice. Listen to the kick drum. It doesn't lose bottom end at all. Actually, it makes it kind of more dense and powerful. I want to test something. Let's say I want to use this compressor for the crest factor trick. I want to compare the limiter alone versus the saturation alone, and what's the difference in shaving the transient with one as opposed to the other. So I'm gonna lower the threshold and put the makeup gain back here, and I don't want to compress. I'm gonna set the limiter so I shave about 4 dB of gain reduction, and I'm gonna set the saturation to do the same. They're both set so the maximum peak on this drum is about -7, so I'm shaving about 4 dB with each. Let's listen to the limiter first. That's interesting. The limiter retains a lot more punch, a lot more transient, and still shaves off those 4 dB. The saturation is soft on the transient. It has a more mellow sounds, a more saturated sounds, but not harsh at all. Let me try with dynamic engaged. Definitely with dynamic, the saturation let the drum breathe a little more, and that makes sense because when you feed a saturator a full range signal, so it saturates everything based on level, the saturation is gonna be very different than if it's dynamic, like in this case. Not counting the compressor, with this one we already have 3 interesting tools to shape the sound and to deal with transient. Let's try it on vocals.
So let me be what you ask me, please. So touch down your arm to my chest and fix what needs fixing, 'cause you are what I believe in.
I really love this on vocals.
So let me be what you ask me, please. So touch down your arm to my chest and fix what needs fixing, 'cause you are.
It really has a strong color and a very, very nice color. It almost reminds me of a mixture between the LA2A and my diode bridge compressor.
So let me be what you ask me, please. So touch down your arm to my chest and fix what needs fixing, 'cause you are what I believe in.
You hear the saturation, it breaks up so nicely. We have a competitor for the MJUC. I think I'll put this right there. I'm gonna try to exaggerate here.
So let me be what you ask me, please. So touch down your arm to my chest and fix what needs fixing, 'cause you are what I believe in.
You hear when you exaggerate the settings, this is a byproduct of heavy compression in general. It's kind of darker, but it's not just a byproduct of compression. This compressor has a really, really nice color.
So touch down your arm to my chest and fix what needs fixing, 'cause you are what I believe in.
I'm doing comparisons with hardwares that I'm familiar with, kind of also style level, 176 compressors, big ass tube compressor. That's what it reminds me. Bass, really quick. Very interesting. Again, you hear on this bass the saturation is not as noticeable as was on vocal. I was expecting the opposite, but it's nice because the action of it is pretty transparent if you want. Let's go feedback and relaxed. Interesting, on the bass we hear very well the lo-fi and what it does. Let's try acoustic guitar and then we go for more complex material like a mix or something. Again, super, super thick, and I really like how it handles acoustic instruments like this. Acoustic guitar is not easy to compress without artifacts or without pumping, and this one, few knobs, it gives you so much control, and the dual stage attack and release is really the key to get artifacts and pumping out of compression, even a higher compression settings that I would use just to test it. I'm gonna start playing with the stereo link options, and also we'll try it on mid-side, because you can have this one mono, left, right, some different, some indifferent, which is mid-side, or stereo. It also has oversampling, live echo, precise, and insane. Let's try the stereo link crossfed. Okay, not that much noticeable here, but what it does, it helps you with something like this, when you have like a guitar on the left that is not on the right, maybe toms, maybe some other elements, that when you don't have a perfectly symmetrical mix, it helps you not shifting the mono information on the low end left and right too much, but it still opens up the stereo field a little bit. Okay, you can see the mid-side opens two more knobs, the side threshold and the side makeup. It's really nice. It's a nice combination of a transparent, or I should say very musical gain reduction and thick color.
I'm just trying to sound like what real sound like. I'm still the same down guy, same down vibes. I know that you heard this, I deserve this. After what the hurt did, it done turned out perfect. I'm just trying to sound like what real sound like. I'm still the same down guy, same down vibes. I know that you heard this, I deserve this. After what the hurt did, it done turned out perfect. I told you I'd make it. I'm just trying to sound like what real sound like. I'm still the same down guy, same down vibes. I know that you heard this, I deserve this. After what the hurt did, it done turned out perfect. I'm just trying to sound like what real sound like. I'm still the same down guy, same down vibes. I know that you heard this, I deserve this. After what the hurt did, it done turned out perfect. I told you I'm just trying to sound like what real sound like. I'm still the same down guy, same down vibes. I know that you heard this, I deserve this. After what the hurt did, it done turned out perfect. I'm just trying to sound like what real sound like. I'm still the same down.
Nice. This is kind of almost foolproof. Not that you cannot set it wrong, you can, especially with all these controls, but because it's very musical, so you might like a couple of dB of compression only, and then you push it and you go like, this is interesting as well. I think it offers several possibilities, a lot of options. Okay, you hear with the saturation on, and I had it pretty much all the way up. Definitely has a more vintage sound, so from other stuff, keep that in mind. Last, let me show you the inverse button, because it does some pretty unique things. We read in feed-forward mode, it leads to a significantly increased compression ratio. I think this one is closer, if not the same, of the negative ratio that I have on my Elysia, and I don't think it's available anywhere else. So we go in feed-forward mode, and we try that. Okay, again, is more for special effects. I would pair probably this one with the lo-fi and see how it sounds. Another fun color on this compressor that seems to have many. This is it for this video, I think. This was Molot Genema Edition from Tokyo Dome Lab. I think it's a pretty cool plugin to have. It's quite unique the way it sounds and the way it colors the material, and it offers enough versatility. Remember, there's also a completely free version which will come with less feature, of course, but at the core is going to have the same sound, so definitely grab that. I hope this video was useful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and share. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Follow MixbusTv on Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of exclusive content in there, not just pictures and news, but I also pop up live on Instagram here and there while I'm working, so you get a sneak peek of my sessions, and if I have the time, I take a couple of live questions there. Click the join button if you want to access the real stuff, the really in-depth mix and mastering videos and courses, not available anywhere else. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. Helps the channel a lot. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. See you next time.